Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, boys and girls. It's time for another lab, and we are going to configure port security. So in this lab, we will configure port security in a small campus network. Let's go, let's go. It's a pre-configured lab. You will have this in order to practice. And let me just start with the first thing that we are going to do to fully understand about port security. We are going to access the switch 1 in this topology. I'm going to access a specific topology and look at some of the configurations in that specific switch. In the meantime, while the packet tracer file loads and all that, let me just explain something. Disable unused ports. This is sort of the recommended actions, and this will help us to prevent unauthorized hosts plugging into them and gain access to the network. How do we know which devices are in use? Show IP interface brief, and we will be able to see fast Ethernet 0/1 and 2 up, and they are being the correct ports being used or utilized at this moment. So let me clear the drawing and let me see finally packet tracer open. And there you have it. There you have it. So let me just do something real quick. Let me clear this for a moment and this one for a moment. What about, let me just take a look at something I want to validate. Yeah, we're pretty much there. Everything looks great. Okay, let me just go ahead and start working on this. First thing we do is access the switch. Let's do show IP interface brief. We execute that command. Let me just move this a little bit. And you can see the FA 0/1 and 2 are up. Let me see if we're missing a command. Show IP interface brief. Yes, that is the command we're talking about. Yeah. Okay, so at this moment we can see that only FA0, 1, and 2 are being used. That means we need to shoot the rest of the ports. So let's work on that. Let me go ahead and run the following command. We are going to do config t interface range FA03 24. Let's do a shutdown. And now interface range gigabits. Gigabits 0, 1 through 2. And let's do a shutdown as well. And there you go. Amazing, amazing. Good job. Next thing we do, we have to configure port security in FA0/1 to allow a maximum of 2 MAC addresses. It's important after enabling port security, do not send traffic between PCs. For example, ping until you have manually added PC1's MAC addresses. So let me go ahead and let's go to PC1 and I can show you what we are trying to accomplish right now. First thing we do, we go to the command prompt and we execute ipconfig /all without the asterisk curse, and we will have a learning about the specific IP addresses for this device. I don't see the default gateway for some reason. It's probably like that on purpose. Okay. So first thing we do, we send a ping, a connectivity ping to the following IP address. We're going to send a ping to the other PC. 10.10.10.11. If I'm not mistaken, that is the other PC. We are generating some traffic and we are going to execute the show MAC address table command in the switch. So let me go back to the switch. Let's do the show MAC address. Let's do an end here. Show MAC address table. Show MAC address /table, and you can see the MAC addresses and specific ports. Okay, what else? What else, guys? What else do you think? Okay, we have to configure the access port and the security configuration in the switch one. So let me work on that right now. Let's do the following. Let's do config t, configure terminal. Let's do interface FA01 and switch port mode access, switch port security, switch port security, switch port security maximum, max 2, maximum. Let me see if we're missing something here. Switch port security, question mark. There is MA, maximum 2. There you go. And the other one, it is also important. It is a MAC address, stick a MAC address. So let me do work on that. Switch for security MAC address. But now I want to know this one is the one for the dynamic MAC address that we have before. Yeah, it is this one. So let me just copy this from here. Let me just copy and paste it there at the end. And then enter. What else? Okay, we have to do the same for the other port. So interface FA0/2, switch port mode access, switch port security. And are we doing the exact same processes? Enable port security by default with the default settings. Now we can do a ping test. Let me go to PC1 so I can work on that. From PC1 and PC2, let's work on that. We're sending a ping test, ping connectivity test again. Let me go to PC2 so I can do the same. Let's do a ping to the 10.10.10.10. If I'm not mistaken, we are good. Okay, great. So we ping from PC2. Let me just go there. From PC2 to PC1 and from PC1 to PC2. That's what we were doing. Now, what else are we doing? We need to do the show port security address. Let's go to the switch. Let's execute this command. Let's do an int. Show port security address. And there you have it. What do we have here? What do you guys see? We see the MAC addresses and the specific secure configure and dynamic configure for FA01 and FA02. Maximum address in the system is 0 at this moment. We are not excluding one MAC address port. And the MAC address limit is 2024. Let's see what else do we get. On PC2 is actually, we can see the MAC address of PC2, which is actually 000022222222. That is the dynamic configure for connected and known via FA0/2. Now let's do a port security interface to find more information about a specific one. So let's work on that. Show port security interface FA01. And there you have it. Enable secure app, shutdown, absolute disable, and that's pretty much everything. Now let's do the same with FA02. So we have FA01, FA02. We have the violation mode is shut down. We have the maximum MAC address is 2, and in this one is actually only 1 for FA02. Nice. I think we are done with the lab. It was pretty easy and straightforward. We completed like in record time. I mean, these are the basics of port security, and we have just been doing an amazing job. I want to thank you guys, boys and girls, for the time, for doing this lab, practicing with me, going over that commands and what they actually did it is important because remember, practice makes perfect. Until next time, it's been a pleasure. I will see you at the top of success and take care. Take care. See you next time.